What's up, guys? So we're going to be breaking down 6 archetypes of girls you're likely to discover on Tinder and all the dating apps, and the best strategy for texting and seducing each one of them. So if you're someone who's been in the game for a while, you know not all girls are the same. Now, of course, each girl has their unique personality, but you can see also there's personality clusters, and girls fall into one of these 6 archetypes, right? So I did a lot of research for this video. I went through all of my lay reports, and I figured out, okay, what makes these girls the same and what makes them different? And I came up with these 6 archetypes. So we're gonna go through each one of them. I'm gonna show you a text example for each, and then you guys are gonna be able to see how to text them, right? The first one, we're gonna start with my favorite, which is the BRAT. The BRAT is a very famous archetype. In reality, I think maybe less than 10% of girls are BRAT, but they're very vocal, right? They're a very vocal community, and it is very important to text them correctly. You can very, very easily fuck it up with a BRAT. So a BRAT is basically a submissive girl. However, she gets off on shit testing men. And what she does is she relentlessly tests every single guy that she talks to make sure he's a true alpha. 95% of guys that she talks to don't pass her test, right? Because they flake. And really, the biggest thing with these bratty girls is to always hold your frame, never apologize, never backtrack, but also never get butthurt, right? The best way to pass a brat shit test is to remain calm, grounded, right, and kind of laugh it off. So the minute that she sees that she can have an emotional impact on you, and this could be over text or on a date, right, she throws you a shit test, as soon as she sees that has an emotional impact, you're fucking done, right? So you have to stay calm and grounded. So let's take a look at an example. So this is a chick from Tinder several years ago, right? You can't really tell by the photo that she's a brat, but you're gonna be able to tell by the texting. And also, this is 2017, when you could get away with saying more shit on Tinder. Can I be honest? I like honesty. That's good. You look like you have a great pussy to eat out. So this is kind of like an apocalypse opener I used to use. Believe it or not, it used to work really, really well. However, you can't really do that anymore. When I tried in like 2019, it would get my account banned, right? So back in the day, you could do shit like that. She's like, I do like to be eaten out. I'm type 2. Now, one important thing I want to preface it by saying is that you can only do this shit if you have a sexual bio, right? So if you have a very standard profile and you say you look like you have a great pussy to eat out, the girl's going to be like, what the fuck? You're a pervert, right? But if you have a very sexual profile, well, then it makes a lot more sense. I'm like, I bet, are you submissive? I can be when I want. That's something a brat would say. A girl who's just a regular self would be like, yeah, I am submissive. I can be when I want, i.e. I'm submissive with the right type of guy, a true alpha. With all other type of guys, I fucking own their ass and I'm the actual dom, right? And that's what it is. When a brat is with a guy who is not true alpha, she will be the dominant one and she will fucking get off on trolling that guy. Like maybe if I was to bend you over, grab a fistful of your hair and slap your ass just once and you expect me to submit. So again, with a brat, the key thing is to get them to submit to you, right? Which again, is not as easy as it is with a regular sub. Don't be silly. You both know you're gonna require a good hard spanking. You don't know how bad I've been. Oh really, I can be such a tease. This is a very, very standard, I guess, MO for brat. There will always be a tease. They say I'm a tease, I like to be a tease, blah, blah. But tease is basically a synonym for shit test, right? She teases guys to see how they react, right? And what they do is if the guy gets reactive and starts like craving, like, oh my God, I wanna fuck you, they'll pull back and then be like, nah, you ain't getting any of this pussy, right? Because they're very, very picky about which guy they submit to and which guy they're submissive to. I say I can imagine all those poor boys, right? So I can be such a tease as a shit test, right? So I respond with, I can imagine all those poor boys. That's the thing, they were boys. I need a man to teach me a lesson, right? Again, goes back to what I was saying earlier. I sent her a cool gift that they used to have on Tinder where the guy's spanking the girl. Is that what you're gonna do to me? Please tell me more. Do you want me to just talk about it or show you, right? Which is a good way of rephrasing it. Show me. Good, you feeling spontaneous tonight? I do, my plans awesome. Solution, the solution just came. Yes, my plans fell through. Come on over then. I can. I don't have a car. Is your place an option? Or I could get you an Uber. Would you Uber me, take me home? Yes. And then here, just keeps going. We wound up getting on a call and she spends 15 minutes telling me that she's a massive tease and that all the guys she meets up with never hook up with her because she teases them. And then last minute, she's like, I'm just gonna go home, right? That's a very standard brat thing, right? So what did I do? I stayed very calm and grounded. And you can actually see that phone call. We have it recorded. I did a video breakdown. So you can actually see the phone call and see what we talked about in this link. Okay, let's keep going. So that was the first type. It is the brat. And it's very important that you pass all her shit tests, that you don't fall for her shit, you don't get affected, and you remain very, very grounded. And you can tell if you're talking to a brat if they say things like, I can be, or I'm a tease, stuff like that. Next category, and this is probably my favorite category. This is just a regular submissive girl, right? We call them inexperienced subs or just regular subs. So these are girls who are sexually submissive. However, they're not bratty, meaning they don't get off on shit testing men. They're not only submissive with, I don't know, a small percentage of men who are truly alpha, they're submissive with any guy who is basically fairly sexually dominant in bed. They're not really gonna shit test you, or at least not shit test you much. They're not gonna play these games. They're not really gonna tease you that much. They're just like a guy who's confident and dominant, right? And this is definitely my favorite category because they're so much more straightforward. So here's an example. And also, this is not a black and white thing. So a girl can be like 90% regular sub, 10% brat, or she can be 50-50, right? So there's different levels of this, right? So a girl can be a little bit combination of these categories. So this chick, she messages me in Russian, hello dominant. I'm like, I'm guessing you're a submissive. Well, it depends. Trick question, you will be with me. Why are you think so? Because you're my type and a dom can always spot a sub. I'm not that innocent that you might think. There's nothing wrong with being innocent. I prefer bad girls that are bad to the bones. I'll throw you a bone. I'll throw you my bone. Let's see how bad you really are. It's not Tinder FYI. Are you magically innocent when on Bumble? She's like, yes sir. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I guess I can take you Chuck E. Cheese then. I don't know this place. Oh gosh, pizza joint. I'm like, there will be a lot of innocent people like you there playing video games, so I'm just flirting with her. Are you a nerd? Well, that's where I take good girls. Wrong place for me, darling. If you're a Russian, then you know what I mean. Okay, do you like wine? Yes, sir, and tequila. And then you can come join me for some tequila, but you have to promise not to drink it all. So here I'm just moving things towards the meter. Now, I would say this girl, she's not a true regular sub. I think she's a little bit of a 50-50. So I think she's like maybe 40% brat and 60% regular sub. Next one we're going to take a look at is actually an example of a pure sub, right? Pure, whatever, standard submissive girl, zero badness. So this is a girl I'm talking to. She opens me, hey, with the love emoji. Hey, what's up? Just chilling. How about you? Just finished a hike. Oh yeah, I live in blah, 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 but I'm in LA for the weekend. Nice, got that sexy Midwestern twang. Haha, I mean, for me, it's just normal. Are you from here? Lol, yeah, 4 years now, originally from the great state of New Jersey. Oh, cool, I want to move here once I graduate next year. Another thing with the regular submissive girls is they will not sexualize for you, right? You can talk to them for hours. They will give you little hints, but they will not actually make it happen for you. You need to go first and show them that you're dominant. So here, that's what I do. I say, nice, what are you looking for on Tinder? She's like, someone who will do all the things you talked about in your bio. It's literally my dream. So I had a very BDSM style bio, so I'm like, perfect, we should get together sometime soon. And then basically it goes from there and we wound up meeting up. But again, there can be small signs like that, right? But basically a standard, regular submissive girl, you just have to go first with them. She might give you little cues and stuff like that, right? But they're kind of feminine, right? And they're just like a dominant guy who's confident, knows what he's doing, right? You don't really have to worry about shit tests with them or anything else. And that's why they're my favorite type of girl. And there's going to be a lot of chicks who fall into this category. There's a lot more of this type of girl than there's the brat. However, I think for some reason the bratty type of girl is becoming more and more popular. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. But the regular sub girls are fucking awesome. Let's move on to the third type. This one's probably my least favorite fucking category, and you will see why. So we can call these professional subs or pro subs or whatever. Now, it doesn't mean that they're, just for the record, it doesn't mean they do this for a living. It just means they're girls who are very active in the BDSM community, and they're basically giant nerds when it comes to sex. So they're gonna use all this slang, all these terms that you probably haven't heard of before, doesn't make much sense, and they're very intellectual when it comes to talking about sex. Right, so with the previous category, right, it's just like kind of a vibe thing. You pick it up. With these girls, they're going to be all technical. They're all going to use these technical BDSM terms. And here's the big thing with these girls. It's very, very easy to strike out. Not because they're going to relentlessly shit test you like the brat. You're going to strike out with these girls because she's going to get a feeling that you're not really experienced in the BDSM community. You're not an experienced dom. So if you're just a guy like me who's just dominant in bed but doesn't give a fuck about like all this nerdy technical sex shit, that's not going to be up her alley. Like, you have to actually understand the slang, understand the terminology, and you also have to be basically fairly descriptive when you talk to her. So you can't just be like, yeah, I'm dominant, right? If you say that to a girl who's an experienced sub, she's going to be like, yeah, you're just a window shopper, you're not real dom, goodbye, shit like that. And let's take a look at this example, and you're going to see exactly how this works. So she's talking to one of the clients in our mastermind group. So she opens him. Your order system is like the tracks at one point. So she's referencing the bio. He's like, well, my kind of girl. You want to make it a meal. I see. I'm out and about tonight. How's your weekend starting? It's been busy, no dates, up to anything fun tonight. So this conversation is going. So here it comes. She's like, glad you have a good fitness and mindfulness regimen. We'll see about the date. Tell me, what are your DS, which is slang for dominant submissive? This is not something that a regular sub will say. This is only something that a pro sub will say. DS, experience, recent or current dynamics, and the like. Again, they're very nerdy. They want to know everything. Sometimes they don't even have sex on the first date because they just like to talk about this nerdy fucking sex shit. these type of girls annoy the fuck out of me. I was once doing a podcast with one of these like professional sub girls, and I made a joke saying, honestly, you guys are just a bunch of nerds who just nerd out on sex. And she got so fucking butthurt. It was pretty funny. But anyway, he's like, happy to discuss, but it's a broad question. What would you like to know specifically? Example, number of partners, their formal contract activities, containers, is there an aspect of traditional relationships, etc. She's like, it's a broad question. Lots of folks have varying frameworks, and they ask questions like this to make sure you're an experienced dom. So the best way to lose these girls is to not be an experienced dom. She's like varying frameworks of DS, some not at all, so I tend to leave it open-minded. I'm curious first about what you may have on your dance card presently and what you may be looking for, referring back to your orders from profile. Feel free to send me any questions as well. So again, they're very technical, very nerdy with this shit. So here he sends this text: love the open communication. My style is a combination of dominant, mindset-oriented versus being heavy on tool, contract oriented. Oh my God, fucking contracts are so fucking nerdy. Although there are definitely some tools, toys involved. I also add deep connection, spirituality to the mix. It helps both the partners operate from a much deeper center and drive significantly deeper, no pun intended, experience where the mind drops away, similar to when you dance and become one with the music. You're not thinking about what the next step. You probably read my profile. Here are some of the things I focus on. My world famous sensual massage, breaking orgasm records, getting the girl to a state where orgasms keep coming every 10-15 minutes and making the girl squirt, spanking, choking, hair pulling, edging, denial, whispering fantasy narratives in the girl's ear, 5.0 GPA and teasing, cuddling, and dominating, right? So again, it's like very technical type of fucking terminology. So with a girl like that, if she's like, she will always ask you, oh, what's your experience? What kind of dynamic you're like? And if you're just like, I'll show you in person, you're done. Because these fucking girls love nerding out on sex. So, you know, if you're not willing to nerd out on sex, then you don't have to bother with it. I actually, usually when a girl like this, I don't even bother because they're so fucking annoying. They're just like massive nerds, but basically involved with sex. But if you have the patience for this and you can pick up a little bit of terminology, that's another type. Okay, and also I want to mention that this type of girl, she's not super common. This is the least common category. I would say that's maybe 1 to 3% of girls you're going to require. Category number 4, archetype number 4, it's the feminine cutesy. So this is a very common category. This might be something like 40% of the girls you talk to. So these girls are just very feminine, they're cute, they're not actually sexually submissive. They might be submissive in bed right in the moment, but they don't really know that's what they want. If you ask them, what are you looking for? They're not gonna say, you know, oh, I just want a guy I can be submissive with. They'll never say stuff like that. They're more just feminine, they're cute, kind of like, a good example would be my girlfriend. You guys seen her videos. She's just like very feminine and cute and like ha 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 blah blah. And these girls are great for relationships. They're great girlfriends, right? You know, my second favorite category to the submissive girl. But they're both great categories. And this is the type of girl you're gonna encounter quite often. And this is a good way of thinking about it. This is like the girl next door type of chick, right? So when you think of girl next door, that's basically feminine and cutesy. So here's an example. Hey, Trouble. Rather Trouble is your second name. Hey. So you can see emojis. She's flirting, funny, blah, blah. No argument there. Are you in Warsaw? Yup. And you? Where are you from? Actually, just flew in last night. I'm from LA. Wow. What brings you to Warsaw? Pierogies and worker. Yes, haha. Smiley face. So it's not your first time Poland. I guess if you know pierogi. Again, she's being funny. She's being flirty, right? This is basically the archetype. I had a Polish girlfriend a while back when I lived in New York City. That's a good explanation. NYCLA. If you have lived in interesting cities, it's my dream to see New York City. I envy you, right? Again, very funny and flirty. Quite different than what you saw so far with the other archetypes. Thanks, you seem pretty light. Maybe I can smuggle you in my suitcase. And when you say like little funny flirty lines with these types of girls, it's gonna work well. When you say it with like a BRAT, she's gonna be like, ha ha ha, I will eat you up for lunch. How long are you planning to be in Poland? I don't know, depends on how work goes. Haha, I guess that I'm too tall for your suitcase, but I like your blah blah. I'm like, don't be embarrassed. I love Polish accents. Maybe you can teach me a few words. I thought you know any Polish words thanks to your ex. Where exactly is that romantic patio? So I invited her. I think there's a screenshot missing. Basically, I invited her to have a glass of wine with me on my romantic patio when I was staying in Poland. I tell her the location. She's like, I must tell you this is a very specific location. Anyway, your proposal of bottled wine is very tempting. Do you have WhatsApp, easier to send location? And then you can see the full lay report on my website. But basically, it's stuff like that. They're very feminine, they're cute, you know, stuff like that. Girl next door type of chick, right? Very common. Archetype number 5. Also the type of girl that I fucking hate dealing with. We call them the young, hot party girls, right? These chicks are usually going to be younger, although not necessarily. They can actually be in their 30s, even potentially 40s, but typically they're going to be in their 20s. And these are the chicks who are very irresponsible, Right? Think of Girls Gone Wild type of chick. You know, she's partying all the time, she's drinking, you know, she's out and about, she's very flaky, hard to make plans with. She can go from being extremely responsive to not being responsive at all, right? Giving you one-word answers, sending you essays. Her emotions are very all over the place, and she's basically run by her emotions. She's very spontaneous. She does whatever she wants, right? And with these types of girls, you can't even really make plans. You just have to catch them in the moment. So let's take a look at an example of how this will play out. So this girl, I open her, hey, trouble, hey, I'm a good girl, lol. She's just kidding. Oh, me too. You're a good girl, lol, that sucks. I think you look better as a boy, thanks. But don't worry, I'm way too dominant in bed for that. I like that. As long as I get to ride you, it's all good. Of course, especially with that ass. I'm 5'5", a little ass, lol, text me. Also, these girls might be very quick to just move off the dating app, right? They can be spontaneous. They can make it either very difficult or very easy depending on their mood. Alex, 2 question marks from Tinder, hi. The one who likes a booty, well, out of luck, I'm skinny, yo, stop, both know you got a nice booty. I do for my size, yes. Thank you. That's better. Are you from here originally? And here she goes to the one-word answer. So you can see that their responsiveness can heavily oscillate. Florida girl, 2 smiley emojis. So give me the basics, tattoos, kids, fun kinks. And she responds, busy, text you later, right? That is something that a fucking hot party girl will say. So the thing with these girls, really the best way to get them is to deny them validation. These girls love validation. They go out just to get validation, right? Or to drop Molly. So if you just deny them validation by simply liking their messages, right, they will fucking chase you. So that's what I do, and literally 20 minutes later, she double texts me, right, again, because I denied her validation. What she wanted me to do when she said busy, text you later, start chasing her, which is what most guys would have done. I just liked her message, and bam, now she's chasing. Hey, what's up? What are you doing tomorrow night? Then she sends me several videos. They will do that. Finishing up the video, what's up? Going to Mr. Jones, so that's a club. Who's Jones? A nightclub, and she sends me the link to the club. 2.5 stars. Well, she's like, it's lit, but I'm going home. It's boring. Single, lol, I can imagine. I'll be free a bit later. Tomorrow night, you should come by for a drink or two. Okay, I will. You thought about that one for a while. Sorry, busy with my son. It's his birthday. Just because they have kids does not mean they're not hot party girls. Actually, quite often they are mothers because they're kind of irresponsible and they fuck without condoms. Here she sends me like a random photo of her hanging out at some, I guess at her son's birthday. But anyway, obviously I censored it out because we're not going to show photos of little kids. But yeah, and this conversation went on and on and on. The full layer report you can see in the video called how to, I think it's how to hook up with the hot party girl type, right? Or break down the whole thing. This was not easy. These girls are definitely very tricky. She flaked on me a whole bunch of times. And that's what will happen with the hot party girls, again, because they're very irresponsible. So some signs of this are things like I mentioned already. They can go from being very hot to very cold. They can send you a bunch of random photos, right? They can invite you out to clubs. They're always busy or they're not sure what they're doing. Their plans always change. They're always flaky. That's the sign. And personally, I find these girls annoying. But to be honest, these can be the hottest types of chicks. They're the worst for a relationship. Definitely not the girl you want to date, but they can be really, really good for sex because typically, once you can actually meet with them, which is not always a guarantee, they're super DTF, they're super kinky, they're just fucking down. They're not really going to shit test you that much once you meet up with them in person. These are just kind of girls who are just going with the flow at all areas of their life, but you can't really count them to constantly show up when you make plans. And the last category is the chemistry type of girls. So these are the type of girls who want chemistry. They're typically not going to come straight to your place, right? Unless you've been texting them a lot and you've been sending essays and she feels a connection. These are the type of girls who need a connection before they have sex, right? They're not really even going to be usually down for sexting because, again, they need to have that chemistry first before anything sexual can happen. And there's going to be some signs of this, right? Typically, you'll see these girls asking a lot of questions about you. So then be like, oh, tell me a little bit more about you. Or like, oh, what do you like to do? Or, hey, do you want a video chat, right? Like stuff like that usually is a sign that she's a chemistry girl. She just wants to see how the connection is. And typically these girls, when you invite them over, they'll be like, oh, I prefer to meet in public, get to know each other. So let's take a look at an example. So I also did a video on this layer report. You can see the full thing somewhere on the channel. But basically the conversation starts like this. Are you in Bucharest? Yes. Cool, just flew in 2 nights ago from LA, you're been? Nope. Sometimes these girls can give you very short answers, and sometimes they can send you essays. It really depends on the girl, how much level of chemistry she thinks you're gonna have, right? But these girls are not really gonna be hot, cold, hot, cold. They're just gonna be hot or they're gonna be cold. You're small, I can smuggle you in my suitcase. She's like, haha, we could try. So notice different from the feminine cutesy girl, it's not as much of a, investment from her. Sounds romantic, do you like wine? Sometimes it gets me dizzy too fast. I'll cut you off after a few sips, promises. What are you looking for on here? Tough question, to be honest. So when you ask them, what are you looking for on here? They'll either be vague like this, or they'll be like, I'm looking for a guy I have a genuine connection with, or a guy I have chemistry with, or a guy I click with, stuff like that. They're not going to say anything sexual. You can do it, not making plans, or the wave takes me. Come join me for a drink then. I don't think today's feasible. Solution. Here I double text. Ignore me like a random Romanian guy because I was in Romania. Hi, it's not that. Life got in the way. No worries. Next time I have to spank you a little. She's like, you say that like it's a bad thing. I sent her a gift. Yum. What are you up to? Just finished with the gym. Can go to the pool and some friends and then a barbecue. And also this is one I think is a little bit of a crossover. She's probably like 20% party girl, 80% chemistry girl. Getting nice and toned for a date. I see, yes, I've been getting ready for a long time now. Good, we should meet after barbecue. I might have something else planned. I will let you know. This will be better. The other is more necessary. I'm really dying my roots. Oh, baby, message me on WhatsApp. I prefer Tinder for a while. These girls also might be hesitant to give you their phone number out. They might have no problem with it, or they might want to get to know you on the dating app first. Oh, geez, used to always having our way, Harvey. It'll be fun to meet in 3D, though. I think 4D is a thing now. You got to keep up. Sounds exciting. Yes, we live in interesting times, so drinks. I think I will go to party tonight. So, yeah, actually, maybe she's like 30% party girl. I'm like, well, I tried. You did. Solution. I'm not a fan of alcohol, to be honest. So here I go for the apocalypse steps. Well, we could skip the cliche small talk and go straight to the part where we smash hard. I need to click with someone before smashing hard. There was no clicking so far. So this is something that a party girl is typically not going to say. When you sexualize with her, she'll typically be receptive, right? Versus a chemistry girl, she's going to be much less receptive. I'm like, duh, we haven't met yet, true, but what if we don't click? Let's have an old-fashioned dinner. So again, these girls are very concerned about chemistry. That's the key indicator. I'm like, only one way to find out. Let's do it. Say 9. Damn, I missed a notification. And I talked to my friend to come down my routes, or we can skip dinner and meet for drinks at 11. So here we just start setting things up. I'm like, even better, we can split a bottle of wine on my super romantic patio. I'm not a fan of going to strangers' places. Where do you live? I tell her the area. If you want, we can meet at a bar nearby first. Here we set up logistics. I meet her at a bar. With this chick, it's not an easy pull. I had to flirt with her for like an hour and a half. Build chemistry. Once you build chemistry, though, then these chicks can be pretty straightforward. Now, sometimes they might be like, oh, I don't really like to have sex on the first date. So you have to kind of reframe and be like, hey, listen, I understand that you're worried that if you have sex, basically a lot of guys will disappear. I'm not like that. For me, sex is a key part of chemistry. And if you frame things like that, then it's gonna work pretty well. But again, the key things with this girl is they want to feel like they have a connection before anything sexual happens. All right, hopefully you guys found this detailed video valuable. And one thing I want to mention is I've noticed there's 2 archetypes of people who watch my videos. The kind that don't subscribe and the kind that subscribe. So you can show us that you're the latter by smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, clicking the bell for notification. Also, if you found this video valuable, consider sharing with a friend. Thank you for watching, and until next time.